Hello and welcome to Throat Chakra Yoga. I'm Trinity Wave. This class connects to the throat chakra, Vishuddha chakra. This class was designed to help open and balance the throat chakra, as well as connects to mudras with the hands and wrists. This class starts with some throat and hand exercises seated, and then moves into some yoga postures. And I do offer inversion variations today, so be mindful of the hand, neck, and wrists, and only go where it feels comfortable today. And towards the end of class I have a Shavasana, and then ending with a few more throat and hand exercises today. I suggest having completed the lower chakra yoga classes that I have on my channel, and the heart opening yoga class, at some point before doing this class. For this class I suggest having a yoga mat, a strap or a scarf, and 2 pillows. Yoga blocks are also optional. And we'll begin seated on the mat, and feel free to sit on your pillows or something to help elevate the hips. So when you're ready, let's get started. So we can begin seated with the palms down on the knees. And the first chanting practice I have is oming. And om is said to be the eternal sound, made up of 4 syllables: a, u, and n. So we can do this 3 times. So I'll demo this to start. So we can inhale and exhale normally, and do our 3 ohms, inhaling between each. So let's inhale and exhale normally. And then we can inhale and begin oming. And begin to return to a normal breath here. So the next chanting exercise is Satnam. And Satnam means my name is truth, or truth be my name. Some translation of that. And I'll demo this. Satnam. So when doing this, try to feel the vibrations in the body. And I believe this can help one open up to truth and self-expression. And we can do this 3 times like we did the ohms. So let's inhale and exhale normally. And then we'll inhale in Satnam. 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 Feeling the vibrations. Satnam. Returning to a natural breath here. Thank you. So next I have some mudra practices for us. And mudras are poses with the hands and wrists. And I believe this helps connect the body, the mind, and the spirit in different ways. And some of these exercises I've created to help open and loosen the hands and the wrists, as well as to connect to and balance the throat chakra. So the first mudra exercise I have is called Twinkle Fingers. This will help loosen the hands and the wrist, and I'll demo this. Okay, so let's do this together. So cactusing the hands up towards the sky, and begin to move the fingers forward and back. And bonus points if you can simultaneously move each finger from the right to the left, forward and back. And great job. Release the hands down and return to a natural breath. So the next mudra exercise is called Swan Hands, and I'll demo this. So let's do this together. So let's bring the pads of the 5 fingers together of the left hand, bending at the elbow and the wrist, and then bringing that down, going to the other side. So alternating, turning the head towards the left, and then the right. Doing this 3 times on each side, alternating. And then release the hands back down and return to a natural breath. So the next exercise is an infinity wrist stretch, and I'll demo this first. So let's do this together. So the hands can come out in front of the chest, palms down, and then begin to circle in towards the midline and then circle out towards the sides. Doing this simultaneously. This is great to help open and loosen the wrists. Keep breathing. Wonderful. Release the hands back down. So the next mudra is a flower exercise similar to the swan, and it'll look like this. So let's try this together. So both hands come parallel to the throat, like the swan hands. So the 5 finger pads are together. And then we'll slowly begin to open the fingers like petals of a flower. And then close gently, slowly. We'll do this 5 times, opening and closing. Open 2, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Open 2, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. Wonderful. Releasing the hands back down, returning to a natural breath here. And for that last mudra exercise, I believe that connects to opening the throat chakra and also listening for clear communication. So I have one more seated exercise before moving into yoga postures, and this is a neck stretch. So let's begin by bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin down, rolling to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, tuck and roll. Keep alternating here. Keep breathing. One more time each side. Coming back to center, returning to a natural breath here. Please stay seated to watch the demo for the next move, which is lion's breath. So from seated, let's move into tabletop. So here, bringing the hands right underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. We'll begin with that lion's breath, so we'll drop the belly, extend the tongue out of the mouth, make a ha sound while looking up. Inhale to center. Do that again. Exhale through the mouth. Lion's breath. Inhale to center. Lion's breath. Coming back to center. So our next move is a lateral side stretch. So begin to look over the left shoulder towards the left foot. And then over towards the right shoulder, towards the right foot. Alternating like this, inhaling and exhaling. Looking over the left shoulder and again towards the right. Coming back to center, coming back to tabletop. And here doing a thread the needle pose so you can watch for the demo here. So from tabletop, let's begin to bring the left hand up towards the sky, looking up. And then exhale, threading that hand through the other armpit, bringing the head down, being gentle with the neck here, and breathe. One more inhale and exhale here. And then coming back to tabletop. And now we can do that on the other side. So right hand lifts up towards the sky. And then exhale, threading it through, bringing gentle with the neck, bringing the head down, and breathe. One more inhale and exhale here. Coming back to center, coming back to tabletop. And from here, let's bring the hands one hand length out in front, knees come together for knee down plank. And then slowly tucking the elbows in towards the ribs, lower down to the belly. Setting up for cobra here. So here, tops the toes on the ground. Inhale to lift the chest up. Exhale, lower. Doing that 2 more times. Tuck the pelvis in towards the ground. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, lower. Seeing if you can lift the knees off the ground while keeping the tops of the toes on the ground. Exhale, lower. Pressing back to child's pose, knees together if you can. Stay here and breathe. And if this is too much and you need to bring the knees out, feel free to do that. And then coming back to tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And here we'll go for 3 cat-cows, so drop the belly, inhale looking up. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. Doing this 2 more times with the breath. Inhale. And exhale, round. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, round. Coming back to tabletop, bringing the hands one hand length out in front, tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Keeping a slight bend in the knees, slight bend in the elbows. And here you can begin to pedal out the feet, so bending into one knee and then the other, bringing one heel down and then the other. Keep breathing. Coming back to center and begin to walk the feet up towards the hands, forward fold. And begin to round all the way up to mountain. And so from mountain pose, interlacing the fingers behind the back, lifting the pinky fingers up towards the sky. Breathe here. Here you can lift the chin slightly. And release the hands back down to mountain and breathe. From here, interlacing the fingers in front of the body, pressing the palms forward. And then reaching the shoulder blades forward and then back onto the back. Releasing the hands back to mountain. And the next move is Gomukhasana arms, and I'm going to demo this first. Okay, so for this move, you might want to grab your strap or your scarf. We'll start by bringing the left hand over the head, behind the back, and then the right hand behind the back. And see if you can begin to wiggle the fingers towards one another to touch, to clasp behind the back. And if you can't quite reach that, then you can bring the scarf into the left hand, draping it behind the back, and then the right hand can come back behind the back. And then just having a nice stretch, pulling up and down. And then release that, release the scarf if you have it. And we can go to the other side. Right hand comes overhead and left hand comes behind the back to try to clasp. And once again, if you don't quite make it, then bringing the scarf into the right hand, draping it behind the back, and left hand comes back behind the back. If you have the scarf, gently feeling the stretch in the left and the right. So the next move is an infinity wrist stretch, and I'll demo this first. Okay, so let's do this together. So interlacing the fingers in front of the chest, and from here begin to do a little infinity symbol. Nice and slow. Keep breathing. This is good to loosen the wrists once again. And then release the hands back down. And I invite one to stay here and watch for the demo for the next move. Is chair with a ha sound coming out of the mouth. So I'll demo this first. Ha! 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 So for this move, if one is feeling lightheaded or having shortness of breath, I suggest just doing chair and staying there, and I'll demo that. Otherwise, let's try this together slow and then we can speed it up. So either coming to the center of the mat or in the front of the mat. So from mountain pose, inhaling arms overhead. Exhale, sitting the hips back up to 90 degrees, hands come down near the hips. Inhale to lift. And doing that again, this time a ha sound will come out of the mouth. Ha! Inhaling arms overhead. So if you want to try this faster, you can. So inhale, exhale, ha! Keep going. Ha! Ha! Imagine breaking through blocks here. Ha! Inhale. And if you're not already, you can step to the front of the mat. Returning to a natural breath here. And the hands can come to the hips. Bringing the right foot back, setting up for warrior one here. So right foot comes 45 degrees to the back of the mat, bending the front knee up to 90 degrees. Tucking the pelvis gently. Engaging the core. And here, if you can come to the flower hands or those swan hands. Opening the flower and closing gently. Doing this 5 times if you can. Keep breathing. Strong warrior one with the legs. One more time like this. And then we'll bring the hands down to frame the front foot, coming to plank pose. Slowly lowering down to the belly. To come to cobra or up dog. And you can do it 3 times in cobra if you're in cobra, or coming to up dog to breathe. Coming through tabletop to down dog. Making your way to down dog. Keeping a slight bend in the elbows, slight bend in the knees. And gently shaking the head, yes and no. Releasing the neck. From here, bringing the right foot forward, setting up for warrior one on this side. So left foot is back 45 degrees to the back of the mat, hands on the hips, tucking the pelvis gently, engaging the core. And here you can cactus the hands and do those flower hands again if you can. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strong warrior one with the legs. One more time like this. And then bringing the hands down to frame the front foot. Step or hop forward fold. Rounding back up to mountain. And here you have an option of either coming to that chair or doing that chair squat with the ha out of the mouth, yogi's choice. So if you're coming to the chair squat, inhale, arms overhead, exhale, ha. Keep going, ha, ha, ha. Coming back to the front of the mat if you're not there already. Bringing the hands to the heart and breathe, feeling the heartbeat here. Okay, so I invite you to turn to watch for the next demo here. Standing pigeon chair or figure four. So here I'm going to face forward to do this with you, but feel free to face the front of the mat if you'd like. So coming into mountain, bringing the feet closer together than hips distance, and then begin to lift up the left knee. Bringing the left ankle above the right knee, hands come to the hips, and slowly begin to sit the hips back for a chair pose. Keep breathing. Second option with the hands is bringing the hands to prayer at the heart. Keep breathing. Third option with the hands is coming with hands overhead for chair. And if you'd like more here, you can bring the hands down for an arm balance. Bending into the elbows. Leaning the weight forward. Or flying pigeon crow variation here. And then bringing that foot down to release back. Coming to forward fold. Keeping a slight bend in the knees to roll up. And then release the other foot down. Coming to mountain with prayer hands. So if you need a little bit more time to just breathe, you can stay here in this mountain pose and breathe. If you'd like a little bit more movement, you can join me in vinyasa here. So coming to forward fold. Stepping back to plank. Lowering down slowly, coming to up dog. Exhale, down dog. From here, stepping or hopping forward fold. Rounding back up to mountain. So now we can try for that standing pigeon chair on the other side. So I'm going to face the screen here. And here begin to bring the feet closer together than hips distance. And this time lifting up the right knee. Bringing the right ankle above the left knee to sit the hips back towards chair. Breathing, keeping the hands on the hips. And this might be enough for you, but if you'd like more, you can bring the hands to prayer at the heart. And if you'd like more, you can bring the hands overhead for chair. And if you'd like more, you can come to that crow variation here, standing pigeon, so bringing the hands down, bending into the elbows, leaning the weight forward, engaging the core. And to come out of this, just bringing the foot down, coming to that forward fold, keeping a slight bend in the knee to lift to standing, releasing the other foot back and down, coming back to mountain pose. Okay, so now we can make our way to wide angle here. So bringing the feet 3 to 5 feet apart, keep a slight bend in the knees, and we'll come to a wide angle forward fold. So bringing the hands down, and they can either come to the ground or to the hips. And breathe. And here you can gently begin to shake the head yes and no. Releasing the head and neck. And from here, begin to bend into one knee and then the other. Keep breathing. One more time each side. And from here, we'll begin to bring the hands down to frame one foot, bending into that knee. And slowly begin to bring both knees down, coming to a mermaid pose. And here you can watch for the demo for the next move, shoulder stand. Okay, so from mermaid pose, let's make our way onto the back, knees bent, soles of the feet on the ground. And here begin to bring the feet closer together than hips distance, but having some space between them. We can start to go through this together, but find where it feels comfortable for you today, and you can stay and breathe wherever you feel comfortable. You do not need to go all the way to shoulder stand. So first option is just lifting the hips up to bridge. And just lifting up one leg, lowering it down, and then the other. And you can stay here and breathe. And if you're in a larger body or if you have shoulder or wrist issues, you might want to stay here. If you'd like more, you can try to interlace the fingers underneath the back, tucking the shoulders under to lift the chest more. And you can also use blocks under the hips for a supported bridge. Or if you want to support yourself with the hands, then you can lift the hips, bringing the palms underneath the hips. From here, you can begin to lift one leg up and then the other. And if you feel comfortable, you can try both legs. And you can either come out of this or come into full shoulder stand, lifting the hips up more, bringing the legs together. Engage the core. Pointing the toes. Breathe. And you can either come out or you can come to deaf man's pose, bending the knees, bringing the knees to the outsides of the ears. Feet come towards the ground. And here you can interlace the fingers behind the back, pressing them in towards the ground. Next option is plow, straightening the legs, feet come to the ground. Breathe. And then release the hands and begin to roll out of this slightly. So the feet are coming to the ground, knees are bent. And breathe. And when you're ready, sitting up to watch for the demo for the next pose. So the next pose is fish pose, and it'll look like this. So let's do this together. Coming onto the back, bringing the soles of the feet down, knees bent. Hands are to the sides of the hips. And if you're in a larger body or having shoulder issues, you may want to keep the hands just next to the hips for this pose. Otherwise, you can lift the hips slightly, bringing the palms underneath the hips and setting them back down. And wherever you are, extend the legs out long, gluing the legs together, pointing the toes. From here, press into the elbows and the hands to lift the chest, bringing the back of the head down to stabilize on the ground. And from here, you can bring a slight hum into the throat through a closed mouth. Keep breathing. And then gently release out of the pose. And bringing the soles of the feet back to the ground, lifting the hips to release the hands back. And now we can begin to get ready for our final relaxation pose of the class. So some options for this Shavasana is to bring some pillows underneath the knees, extending the legs out long, arms out wide, palms up. And if that's not available for you today, you can always come to temples in the sand. So find your relaxation pose for this class. And we'll begin by taking 3 sighs out of the mouth. So inhale through the nose and sigh. Ah. Doing that 2 more times with your breath. Ah. Ah. Softening the face, softening the jaw, softening the eyelids, allowing the back of the body to be heavy and the front of the body to be light. Noticing where you can soften any amount more. And wherever you are, beginning to take a slightly deeper inhale into the body and a deeper exhale. Maybe beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Releasing the pillows if you have them. And bringing the knees to the chest, hug. And here you can either rock from side to side or front to back. And if you're rocking from side to side, you could come to one side here. Or you could rock up and back to come back to seated. And here you can make your way onto your pillows if you like. Coming back to seated. And here let's begin to seal all the benefits of this practice into the body, the mind, and the spirit. So begin to bring the hands together in prayer in front of the throat. And we can do 3 ohms here, like we did at the beginning of class. So inhale and exhale normally. Inhale and we'll begin the om. May this throat chakra be open for true self-expression. Releasing the hands back down to the knees. And just begin to breathe here and notice how you feel. Notice how your throat feels. Thank you for joining this throat chakra yoga today. And as always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Namaste.